Yeah, it was terrible. It was just a concert. I was waiting for little baby to come buy my tacos up.
Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang ultimately took.
The city of Atlanta has been shaken by a tragic event involving the murders of two 13-year-olds, and authorities are placing blame on a local rapper's music video shoot for inciting the violence. The Atlanta Police Department has taken swift action, with 7 individuals already detained in connection to the case. Meanwhile, a substantial reward of $50,000 has been offered to encourage anyone with additional information to come forward. The harrowing incident unfolded in what was meant to be a concert-like gathering but instead turned into a nightmare. Eyewitnesses recount the terrifying moments when gunfire erupted, with at least 25 rounds fired into the crowd. Many attendees had simply come to enjoy music, and some, like one individual who was waiting for rapper Lil Baby to arrive, were caught in the crossfire of a senseless act of violence. The situation escalated to such an extent that the Atlanta Police Department felt compelled to reach out to Lil Baby himself regarding the matter. Reports indicate that law enforcement officials specifically called on the rapper, suggesting that he might have information or a connection to the unfolding events. During a press conference on Wednesday, February 26, the Atlanta Police Department disclosed critical details about the investigation. Officers confirmed that 7 individuals had been charged in relation to the deaths of the 2 young victims, identified as Jacob Davis and Lemon Freeman Major. The tragic incident reportedly stems from a gang-related dispute, with police suggesting that the violence that claimed the 2 young lives was a direct consequence of an ongoing gang war. Authorities stated that the gang war had its roots in an earlier altercation, one that occurred during a music video shoot involving Lil Baby last May. That particular incident left 3 people injured, and tensions have apparently been simmering ever since. According to Atlanta Police Chief Ralph, the department is committed to bringing.
We over here kicking in. We got Lil Baby shooting a video around here. You know how we do it at Slapping Taco. Baby, there he go, there he go. Y'all see him? He came to get him some time.
Justice to the victims' families. This team will work relentlessly to hold you accountable, Ralph declared, addressing those responsible for the killings. The recent violence has raised serious concerns regarding the influence of music culture on criminal activities. Over the years, law enforcement agencies have scrutinized the relationship between rap music and gang violence, with critics arguing that certain lyrics and video portrayals glamorize street life, fostering an environment where feuds escalate into real-world violence. While many artists, including Lil Baby, use their platforms to express personal experiences and raise awareness about social issues, the potential unintended consequences of these artistic expressions cannot be ignored. Lil Baby, one of Atlanta's most prominent rappers, has not been directly implicated in the shootings. However, his name being linked to the incident has sparked debates about the responsibilities of high-profile artists when it comes to addressing violence in their communities. Lil Baby has previously been vocal about systemic issues such as police brutality, poverty, and crime, often using his music to advocate for change. Whether or not he will publicly address this latest controversy remains to be seen. Community leaders and activists are calling for a deeper examination of the factors that contribute to youth violence, particularly in underprivileged neighborhoods where gang activity remains prevalent. The deaths of Jacob Davis and Lemon Freeman Major have once again placed a spotlight on the urgent need for proactive intervention, including better access to education, mentorship programs, and conflict resolution strategies. Many believe that without these resources, cycles of violence will continue to plague communities, leading to more tragic losses of young lives. The Atlanta Police Department continues its investigation, urging anyone with information to step forward. The $50,000 reward serves as an incentive for witnesses who may have been hesitant to speak up out of fear of retaliation. Authorities emphasize that anonymous tips are welcomed and can be submitted through various channels to ensure the safety of informants. As the investigation unfolds, the community remains in mourning, grappling with the devastating loss of 2 promising young individuals. Their deaths serve as a painful reminder of the consequences of unchecked violence and the importance of fostering a safer environment for future generations. This incident has also reignited.
Had to come to an end, you know what I'm saying?
When you say of course, I mean, why you say of course?
Because all shit that be going on, and I had to start learning that, like, other people.
Discussions about the accountability of artists, record labels, and media outlets in shaping narratives that influence young audiences. Some argue that musicians should be more mindful of the impact their content has on impressionable listeners, while others maintain that art is merely a reflection of lived experiences and should not be censored or blamed for real-world violence. Regardless of where one stands on the issue, the loss of 2 young lives is an undeniable tragedy that demands attention. Law enforcement, community leaders, and artists alike must work together to find solutions that address the root causes of violence, ensuring that no more lives are lost to senseless acts of brutality. The coming weeks will likely bring further developments as police continue their efforts to bring those responsible to justice. In the meantime, the city of Atlanta remains on edge, hoping for answers and, more importantly, change. The memory of Jacob Davis and Lemon Freeman Major must not be forgotten, and their deaths should serve as a catalyst for meaningful action in the fight against youth violence and gang-related crime. Chose to enter a rival gang's stronghold and film a music video in an area he knew was inappropriate. In the days that followed, we saw the cowardly conduct of two youngsters, who eventually died as a consequence of their actions. You know who you are, and I tell you that. This crew will do all in their power to hold you and the people you are associated with accountable for the things you did on the day of the music video. Lil Baby visited a nearby taco shop, but it was on one of his operations blocks. It is said that the operations team was unaware that Lil Baby and his team were there filming the music video, but a woman who either owns or is connected to the taco stand took a video of Lil Baby 3 cars deep on the block, which eventually caught the attention of the operations team on social media and led them to pull up on Lil Baby. Atlanta police blame rapper's music video for murder of two 13-year-olds, 7 arrested. The Atlanta Police Department, APD, has linked the tragic deaths of two 13-year-old boys, Jacob Davis and Lemon Freeman Major, to a violent altercation that erupted after a local rapper's music video shoot. Authorities have made 7 arrests in connection with the case and are offering a $50,000 reward for any additional information that could lead to further apprehensions. The shooting, which took place last summer, sent shockwaves through the community. According to police reports, more than 25 rounds were fired at the scene, turning what was supposed to be an evening of music and entertainment.
Call the number for me. They're locking me up for a but I got license. Security. I give you 200 bands a year. I swear to God, security. Security.
Entertainment into a nightmare. The victims, 2 young teenagers with promising futures, were caught in the crossfire of a gang dispute allegedly linked to the rapper Lil Baby's music video shoot. Witnesses recall the chaos that unfolded that evening. What was meant to be a simple concert quickly descended into a horrific scene of bloodshed. I was just waiting for Lil Baby to come get my tacos, and then suddenly, at least 3 people were injured during the violent encounter. Some eyewitnesses claim they saw a group of individuals arguing before shots rang out, while others believe the shooting was a planned retaliation between rival gangs. The exact motive remains under investigation, but police are convinced that the violence stemmed from an ongoing gang conflict that escalated during the music video shoot. The APD has publicly addressed the involvement of rapper Lil Baby, who was allegedly present during the event where the violence began. This team will work relentlessly to hold you accountable, said Atlanta Police Chief Ralph. While there is no confirmation that Lil Baby himself was directly involved in the shooting, police believe that the environment created at his video shoot played a significant role in fueling tensions between gang-affiliated individuals. There are reports that Lil Baby has been contacted by the police for questioning. It is still unclear whether the rapper will face any legal repercussions, but authorities are investigating whether his event provided the setting for the dispute that led to the tragic deaths. The loss of Jacob Davis and Lemon Freeman Major has left the community heartbroken. Their families are demanding justice, calling for the police to crack down on gang violence and ensure that those responsible are held accountable. These were just kids, said a relative of one of the victims. They had their whole lives ahead of them, and now they are gone because of senseless violence. Local activists and community leaders have also spoken out, urging city officials to take stronger action against gang-related activities. Many are calling for increased security at public events and greater accountability for artists who host.
I got nothing to do with no investigation for nothing, whatever, but these are top rappers. Well, one's a top rapper. The other one, matter of fact, I'll do the segment without saying the name.
Large gatherings that may attract violent individuals. So far, 7 individuals have been detained in connection with the shooting. Authorities have not released their names but have confirmed that all of them have ties to local gangs. The police have vowed to continue their investigation and are urging the public to come forward with any additional information. A $50,000 reward has been offered to anyone who can provide details that lead to further arrests. We will not rest until justice is served, said Chief Ralph. We are actively pursuing all leads, and we will find those responsible. This incident has reignited debates about the relationship between hip-hop culture and violence. While many artists argue that rap music is simply a reflection of the struggles faced by those in underprivileged communities, others believe that certain aspects of the genre glorify gang activity and contribute to a dangerous lifestyle. Critics argue that music videos and concerts often become hotspots for criminal activity, especially when gang-affiliated individuals are involved. On the other hand, supporters of artists like Lil Baby insist that the rapper himself is not responsible for the actions of others and that he has used his platform to speak out against violence in the past. As the investigation continues, the focus remains on finding justice for the victims and their families. The APD has assured the public that they will not let this case go unsolved. Meanwhile, discussions about the impact of rap music on youth culture and gang violence are likely to continue in the wake of this tragedy. For now, the Atlanta community mourns the loss of 2 young lives and hopes that their deaths will not be in vain. Anyone with information about the case is urged to contact the authorities immediately. I could be held accountable for all of that, and at first, you know what I mean, I never would have taken that course, but now that I know, I'd be foolish to continue doing the same thing because they are trying to make something out of nothing, and if I get any controller, we're going to change the whole thing up. It's not even just about the police. You understand what I mean when I say that it's simply a time, as I never intended to make my label something I discuss, but what you probably didn't know is that the Atlanta DA already alerted the public to Lil Baby's involvement in Atlanta crimes on the news and in an imp investigation. In recent months, there have been 2 high-profile Rarin cases, and there will be more in just the next 60 days as DJ academics would even look into it and expose the full Atlanta scam. Rappers in the Atlanta area were being targeted by DA Fani Willis. This was even verified when, a week after he shared it, it was revealed that Lil Baby had been arrested on Monday night for carrying a concealed weapon without a permit. He was then taken to the Clark County Detention Center and held on $5,000 bail. I need $20, so call his number for me. The situation in Atlanta is far more complex than it appears on the surface. While the recent tragic shooting of 2 13-year-olds has put renewed attention on Lil Baby and his music video, there are deeper connections that law enforcement and the public are beginning to piece together. This isn't just about one tragic night of gunfire. It ties into a much larger pattern of criminal investigations, RICO cases, and the growing legal pressure on Atlanta's rap scene. Just 8 months ago, academic researchers and independent investigators were publicly discussing the fact that 4PF, the rap collective associated with Lil Baby, appeared on the same RICO document as YSL, Young Thug's crew. These discussions were not based on speculation, they were accompanied by files, case documents, and a growing body of evidence. During live discussions on streaming platforms, analysts pointed to specific evidence files, revealing 4PF's mention alongside YSL in the larger RICO investigation. Some of these researchers even predicted the—
You good, but you can't have that tinted window, man.
Alright, they give me a ticket. Have a good day, man.
Now, who are you? You say you,
My name Lil Baby.
Okay, I just need you to sign right here, okay?
You got a pen?
Sequence of arrests, with statements like, "Yo, these are going first, then these are going next." The names were spoken in these private and public circles, but whether they should be said aloud now is another matter. One thing is clear, multiple sources anticipated that certain rappers and crews in Atlanta were going to be targeted, and it seems like those predictions are playing out in real time. For those unfamiliar, 4PF, 4 Pockets Full, is the rap collective and street-affiliated crew that Lil Baby represents. While the group has been marketed as an entertainment brand, street rumors and law enforcement suggest that it may have deeper ties to organized criminal activity. The question is, how much does Lil Baby himself know? And more importantly, is he actively involved? To understand this, we must look at the larger pattern. In Atlanta, RICO, Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, cases have become a primary tool for law enforcement. Fani Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney, has made it clear that she is cracking down on gang-related violence and organized crime in the city's rap scene. When she initially went after YSL, it was clear she had bigger targets in mind. Young Thug was the primary focus, but he was far from the only one. Reports suggest that 4PF was also on her radar, and the unfolding legal situation hints at a broader strategy. Erupted after a local rapper's music video shoot. Authorities have made 7 arrests in connection with the case and are offering a $50,000 reward for any additional information that could lead to further apprehensions. The shooting, which took place last summer, sent shockwaves through the community. According to police reports, more than 25 rounds were fired at the scene, turning what was supposed to be an evening of music and entertainment into a nightmare. The victims, 2 young teenagers with promising futures. RICO cases are not built overnight. They take years of surveillance, wiretaps, undercover operations, and informants. The case against YSL was not developed in a matter of months, it was in the works for years. If 4PF is truly next in line, that means the feds and local authorities have likely been gathering evidence for a long time. There are even rumors that one of the reasons 4PF changed its branding was due to warnings from higher authorities. While this hasn't been confirmed, it's worth noting that many street-affiliated groups will rebrand or disband entirely once they catch wind of a RICO case forming against them. But despite these alleged warnings, Lil Baby has continued to face legal trouble. His recent arrests, while not directly tied to any RICO charge, are being seen by some as an early warning sign. Many believe that a massive indictment is coming, one that could shake Atlanta's rap industry even further. It's okay, we got it, so the feds told him like it's okay if you dismiss the charge, so they didn't go that hard with trying to get Dirk, especially after Von died. They dropped that case, they dropped it, but the F has realized. When Dirk finally does the math, you'll see why the baby has been acting in this manner. Little Baby hasn't been under Fed watch, instead, he's been under county state watch. Since the Atlanta DA failed to apprehend Young Thug, it's highly probable that they'll be getting Lil. The real question is, however, how this all started. It began 2 weeks into the YSL RICO trial when their best friend Gunana snitched out of the trial, and you personally know that YSL members or associates have committed crimes. Yes, you were present when law enforcement officers pulled over a car in which you and Jeffrey Williams were in, and a firearm and HY were found inside. These items did not belong to you. 3 weeks after Gunna was released, L Baby would be randomly. I'm a celebrity, so no one can see me. I don't know what kind of celebrity you are, but please give me my ticket. I can't have anyone looking at me right now. I'm letting my window up. Oh, you look good, but you can't have that Ted window, man. Alright, give me a good day. Since the official arrest footage would be shared online, you know why I pulled you open these windows, Ted. I need you to sign right here, Little Baby. You got AP. You don't want to have, you have to have T crazy. I took a ticket, and someone put a 32. If you had a medical exception, you could get a 10, but this is where the mystery started. The body cam footage would corrupt the final result, and you saw that Lil Baby had received a ticket, but that he would keep driving down the same street and get pulled over again, only this time, he was arrested and placed under arrest. The infant might have been detained and mistreated because of the color of his skin, according to a lot of internet comments. Others think that when Fannie Willis was in the DA's office, her little baby was stopped and given a ticket by a nearby officer who knew where he was. Knowing his location, they sent another officer to pick him up and put him in jail as a warning. The little baby then flew out on a private jet with his lawyer and was bailed out that night. About right, your P. But did you know, with all of Lil Baby's following his recent arrests and his inclusion in the passing cases of 2 people, Young Thug believes that a former best friend has snitched on him. For this reason, as soon as he was released from prison, he went straight after Ghana. Thug tweeted, "Wem, let's drop one on these rats." Wem was referring to Lil Baby, who was adamant about dissing Gunana during the entire Wild L trial. Lil Baby replied to Young Thug on Instagram, "We should," but the next day, Thug would post another tweet, this time on Instagram. The tweet he posted and the video that night, Young Thug connected with T.I. and posted an Instagram story in which he explicitly states that he is home and that he did it the right way out, subtly disparaging Gunna. Gunna stopped acting like we're friends on the internet. I don't know you. This caught the attention of Gunana and his brother, who would say trust and believe the feeling is reciprocal. You need to let the public know that you feel the same way I do. Hey dude, there's no limit on it, and there is no cap on my rights. You feel what I'm saying the right way, bro. It's time. Go tell G that Thug did it the right way out. T.I. even took Thug's side, reinforcing that statement. However, this is where the real problem lies, as noted by DJ Academics. The authorities offered Thug the easy way out by offering him the plea agreement, which included Thug being banned since they previously anticipated all of this and were one step ahead. Any participation in real life or virtual beefs would be disclosed. When an academic discusses Young Thug's release, he claims that the conditions are a ruse by the court to try to get him back into jail, explaining that it's all a setup for Thug to eventually fail and end up serving 20 years in prison. However, they also knew that Lil Baby would side with Thug in his feud with Gunna, and the Atlanta DA would then apprehend the 2 of them at the same time. I know some of his fans believe he beat the. He most certainly didn't win the case. Winning the lawsuit implies that there are no conditions attached. The Young Thug thing is a victory, but it's also a huge setup. If you don't tell me that they are going to monitor him for 15 years on probation, he can't be in Atlanta, he can't talk to co-defendants or members, he can't rap about it, and he can't promote any music related to what they think is activity, they might think that he might. If you follow that trial at all, Whether you're a fan of Thug or not, you can see the pain you're going through, like he gained a lot of weight, which everyone knows was not that weight, so we're happy he got out, but we definitely need to be very aware of how it's going to play out. For example, they might say, why are we going to the park getting lit, or are we going to the club getting lit?